Hello Disney fans, my name is Hailey and welcome back to the Disney Cupcake channel. As this holiday break was happening, we're all inside, whether it be shutdowns or snowstorms. We were watching some of our favorite Pixar films, and as we were watching the Pixar shorts that take place in front of those films, I began to wonder, which one's my favorite? So then I figured, why not make a whole video ranking my least favorite to most favorite Pixar shorts. Now, I'm only going to be ranking the theatrical released shorts, not the Spark shorts that are released on Disney+, although you can watch all 20 of the shorts I'll be going over today on Disney+. There are some exclusive to Disney+, which I will not be including in this list because not everyone has Disney+. So all of the shorts I'll be going over today were released with Pixar movies over the years. Now, there were also other shorts released featuring some of your other favorite Pixar characters. There have been Toy Story ones, Monsters Inc. ones, and they recently announced for Disney Plus that there will be a series called Popcorn Shorts featuring some more of your favorite Pixar characters, but again, those will not be a part of this list. These are ones that are just uniquely Pixar and not really influenced by any other of their films. So let's jump into my number 20. The Adventures of Andre and Wally B. This short was created in 1984 and was not featured with one of Pixar's films. This was one of their first original animations. And now I'm not judging it on the fact that the animation is very old to this time, but at the same time I am also super amazed with the technology and the ideas that they had during this time as Pixar was starting to become what it is now. It is very, very cool to see the original ideas behind Pixar and how it has changed since that time. So it's not that I don't appreciate this short based on the technology aspect, but based on some of the other shorts that have come out recently and their storylines, that's just how it falls down so low. Number 19, Boundin'. This one came out along with the film Incredibles. This one, the animation was good. Like, I'm not, again, all of these rankings are not against the animation style whatsoever because I know many of these take place over many different times and the technology has changed so much since, but the storylines are really what hit different for some of these, and personally the Boundin' one just didn't really connect to me as much as some of the other Pixar shorts did. So that's just kind of where it fell into place. Number 18, Day and Night. This short came out with Toy Story 3 in 2010. I honestly don't remember seeing this in the theater. I feel like I had never watched this entire short until I began filming this video whenever I was ranking all of them, making my list. It's not that I disliked the idea, it was a really cute idea, but some parts of the short, like, it just felt longer than it needed to be, if that makes sense. But the animation for this one was really well done. It was a really unique story, and I feel like it's something that we've all thought about before, like Day and Night, the difference. And the characters are really cool on how they got to learn about each other's, like, night and day. It was a neat little story, but it almost felt too long. Number 17, Red's Dream. This one came out in 1987. Again, an original. It did not come out with one of the movies. I remember watching this quite a few times just on its own. I liked the storyline until the clown came in. Clowns don't freak me out, but like this version of it, I understand it was the technology, but threw me off a little bit. Other than that, it was a really cute story. Number 16, Lifted. This short came out along with the film Ratatouille. This one, liked the story, animation was really cool. I just wasn't really a fan of the alien characters. I felt like it compared too much to Monsters vs. Aliens, which isn't even a Disney or Pixar film, had nothing to do with any of those. I just feel like during the time, like, it came out kind of soon or kind of near the time that that movie did, so I feel like that may have been confusing to people, as if, like, it would have been a part of the same movie, and the characters, as far as like the little aliens go, kind of look similar, if that makes sense. I know that really doesn't influence what the actual short is about. It's just whenever I see those little aliens, I think of a movie that isn't even a part of this whole universe. So that's just a little side note, although I am, as I mentioned before, kind of impressed with their animation. The, like, beams going through the trees and stuff, I thought that was really pretty. It's just the thought of it, I just feel like it wasn't as much Pixar as we've seen. Pixar just has a vibe. You can tell when something's Pixar. It has that heartfelt story, just like that super deeper meaning. And this one I really didn't get as much as some of the ones at the top of my list. Number 15, Partly Cloudy. This one came out in 2009 along with the movie Up. I, again, don't think I've ever seen this one before until now, which is strange because I own like all of these films on DVD. I just don't remember seeing it. Like, I don't know how I missed it, but I was watching it whenever I was doing this list. I watched like all of them through. Same thing. I love this. The story's really unique. Love the characters that they were able to create in such a short amount of time as far as the length of this short. But I don't know. There's something about the top of my list that these ones at the top of my list, they just hit different to me. They just connect more with me. And I feel like that's really how these Pixar shorts are. Number 14, Presto. This one came out in 2008 along with the film WALL-E. I feel like I kind of missed this one too. I remember seeing it one time, but not recently. Whenever I'm watching the movies, I feel like they kind of just skip over the shorts. Like we just fast forward to the movie, just not even thinking about it. It's been a while since I've seen this one. Also a really cool story. This one had definitely like a deeper meaning, a life lesson, if you will. It was really nice to see. It's a cool animation kind of style they went for, kind of similar to some of the movies that they've made. With that in mind, number 13, Sanjay's Super Team. This one came out in 2015 along with Good Dinosaur. Loved Good Dinosaur. Such an underrated movie. Just throwing that out there. This one, I personally just did not connect to as much. I know as like a figure collector, I should be like, but I wasn't like an action figure type person. I feel like a lot of these shorts definitely kind of appeal to different people, which is awesome. I love the idea of the shorts because they're not full movies. You have a few minutes to watch them. I love putting them on just in the background most of the time because they're really neat, really interesting. They pack a lot in just a couple of minutes, which is great. Like, it's like a tiny little movie, quick little taste. So I love the idea of this, the story of this. There was a lot of really great like storytelling throughout this short. This one just threw me off, I'm not gonna lie. I'm at the theater watching this short. I'm like, oh my gosh, cutesy little foods. I love it. So adorable. Characters so cute. I'm watching this. And then the mom eats the bowl that's like the kid. I'm sitting in the theater with all of these other like little kids. They don't know what just happened. They're just like, oh, how cute. And I'm sitting there like, he just got killed. That short, not that I didn't like the idea, because I love Bao, love the music in it. Again, there was a lot of really cool elements that were taken into account when making that short, which I greatly appreciate. Love the little Bao character so much, but whenever the mom ate it, I just didn't even know. Now on my list, that is the newest Pixar short that has been released with a movie. And with that said, I also forgot to mention, I'm filming this video before Soul came out, so I guess I probably should have stated that at the beginning. I'm not sure if a short will be coming out with Soul, but if it does, I'll drop my rankings below in the description if you'd like to see if there is a new short where that fits in. Number 11, For the Birds. This one came out along with the film Monsters, Inc. And with theaters being shut down during 2020 and them not really releasing any movies in theaters, the theater I go to, they were actually showing Monsters, Inc. during Halloween time, so I was able to go see that. So seeing For the Birds on the big screen again was really cool, but I have seen that many times just on its own, because watching Monsters, Inc. so many times as a kid. I like the story of this one. The plot of this one personally like connected more to me than some of the other ones I previously mentioned, so I thought that was a really cool little touch. The animation was good. It had a fun little laugh in it. It was another fun thing that you wouldn't really think about as much, like birds on power lines. You see them and it's like, huh, wonder what they're thinking, and that's kind of how this story goes. Okay, we're at the top 10, and normally at this point I say, okay, these ones are like so hard, but actually no, not yet. not yet. My number 10 is Lou, which came out with Cars 3 in 2017. 2017 already? 3 years ago I saw that? Like, that time has just gone by. Anyway, Lou was another really cool thing I think about all of the time. Like, you see the lost and found boxes, it's like, huh, all of those items, they have a story, they were someone's belongings that, like, they had memories with, and, like, you know, what goes on there. So this was a really, really cool one to see. Although I feel bad for the kid, it kind of like scared him with all of the things coming at him. I would be scared too, but I love seeing how they created Lou, this character, out of all of these random things on this playground. The animation of that one was really awesome, like how they had slinkies and balls and jackets and how they were able to make everything so animated and lively, even though these were just random objects. Number 9. La Luna. This one came out along with Brave. This short had a really interesting story to it too, being able to go up into the stars and they would just take them home. I don't know, but they were beautiful. I love seeing that area of Pixar Pier with the little stars and you can win them. I actually won some of them. So that just kind of has an additional memory to it. The little characters are so cute. The little stars are so cute. And the little sound effects, the little clinking of the stars as they twinkle. I don't know. I had a good time with that one. Number 8, Luxo Jr. This may be surprising to some people that it is kind of lower on my list. This one came out in 1986 along with Toy Story 2. Now Luxo Jr. Icon. Luxo Ball. Icon. Love both of them so very much. Anything with a Luxo ball, Luxo lamp, huge fan. Love their logo, the idea of them, so very cool. So this short, I feel like it maybe should have been higher. Maybe it is higher on my list. My number 8 and above were very, very hard to do. From Luxo Jr. until the end of this video, any of the following shorts that I mention, put them in any order, any day, any time of the day, I will watch these shorts for sure. Now, the ones I mentioned previously, not that I wouldn't watch them too, but these are my preferred top 8 that put them on. Yes, I'll have a great time. Love them. They just hit different for me. That's just my thought. Number 7. I feel like this one should also be a little bit higher on my list. It kind of makes me sad. This one came out with the home release of Toy Story. This one, Tinny. I love how they're releasing Tinny merchandise now. It makes me so happy. Love the Tinny character, but this kind of goes back to Reg's dream. The characters, the actual humans in this, terrifying, kind of spooky, but at the same time, fantastic. Just shows the history of Pixar, the history of technology over time. Yes, they may be kind of scary, but wow. Love those characters. It's very, very interesting to me to see that over time. And this particular short kind of just goes with Toy Story, kind of shows maybe where the ideas of Toy Story came from. Wow, like what a cool thing to see. Number 6. This short debuted in 2013 along with the film Monsters University. The Blue Umbrella. Wow. Although it may seem like a basic love story short film of 2 umbrellas, the music in this one, that's really what made it to the top of this list. The music in The Blue Umbrella, you can check it out. I have it on iTunes. I play that all of the time. It is the perfect background music on a rainy day, even just putting that on, maybe you're in the car or something. Wow. Such a good soundtrack, even just a good thinking soundtrack. You just need something, some noise in the background, even if you're going to sleep. Like, it's a very peaceful, just calming, soundtrack. Although there's no talking in this short, the soundtrack just made it everything, and I love their use of characters on everyday objects. Just going around, sometimes it'll be like, that kind of looks like a smiley face or something, just the way something lines up. I know many of us do that at the Disney parks. Hey, that looks like a hidden Mickey kind of deal. I love getting to see that in the short and the cute tiny little faces on these umbrellas. just kind of taking away from like the human perspective, like it was the Umbrella's perspective during their reign. And I have to say, the animation of the reign, Pixar actually has done a lot of different rain animations in many of their shorts. It was also in Red's Dream. I can recall in Toy Story 4, the rain animation, so well done. It was really cool seeing that over time, and it looks so beautiful. Number 5 on my list definitely just hits the memories for me. This one came out along with the film Cars, which, as I mentioned previously, is my favorite Pixar film. So I've watched this many times, sitting by the TV as a kid, watching Cars. That would come up and I'd be like, hey, that's neat. That's really neat. I like the characters in this one. It has a really nice little story behind it, as I mentioned here with all of these. The storyline, just they hit different. Pixar knows how to do it. And this one, I think personally, just memories for me watching this so much as a kid. It just always comes to me as a Pixar short. The same thing actually kind of goes with my number 4, which is Knick Knack. This one came out along with the film Finding Nemo. Love Finding Nemo, and that was another one I watched so many times as a kid, along with Cars, Bugs Life. Those three, just that was it for me. Those ones were so good. So I feel like this was another one I just thought about very, very frequently. This one kind of had the same idea to the Tin Toy short. They're very similar in their animation styles, which I think are really cool. And of course, I love little knickknacks. I love little things. So just seeing that in the animated form, I loved it. And the same thing goes with my number 3. Who knew? Jerry's Game. Jerry's Game. This short came out along with A Bug's Life, another one of these super underrated Pixar movies, which if you have not watched Bug's Life, would recommend it for sure. This one, as I said in the Pixar ranking video, Bug's Life watched so many times, and that one was right before it. It had a vibe to it. It had that OG original Pixar vibe, which I just love so very much. Just went along with the Bug's Life animation too. Jerry's Game. I felt so bad for him playing the little game by himself, but at the same time it was kind of like that connection to it. I don't know, the emotion kind of gave me like some up vibes too later on. Now those last 3 were very, very hard for me to rank, and I easily think that those could go up to my top 3 at any point in time. As I mentioned here, my top 8 are just any order I'd be happy with. But my number 2 is Piper. Piper came out in 2016 along with Finding Dory, so this one kind of fit the theme of Finding Dory very nicely, and I love little Piper, their little legs going across the beach, picking up the little creatures. It was just such a cute story. She was so nervous to go out there and get the little clams, little fish clams. Good for her. She's so cute. Like that just, I just saw Piper, I'm like, yep, that's adorable. Definitely love this one. And the last Pixar short, I have this as my number 1, but as I mentioned like 8 times in this video, change it up however you'd like and I'd be happy with this list. This one came out along with Inside Out, another great film. Lava. Wow, that had, again, another kind of like romancy story, but it was told such a different way. Something super interesting, has like some educational aspects to it as far as like volcano nature goes. Gave me those Moana vibes, even though it's not associated with that. It was a really, really cool thing to see. It has a lot of little hidden type Easter eggs in it. Seeing all the different creatures and hearing the soundtrack of that one. I'd love to hear your list down below. I think it's something really interesting to see. And if you're looking for something to do over this break, heading on Disney Plus and watching all the Pixar shorts, just if you have just a few minutes to watch something before you go to bed, it's a really, I don't know, it's a fun, quick little story, kind of like a little bedtime story to watch before you end the day or as you begin the day, whatever. You know. I'll have all of my other Disney, Star Wars, Marvel rankings linked down below in the comments if you'd like to see some of my other favorite things. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and remember to do what you love and do what makes you happy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!